Morning, article up, and it's on Arik Armstead, one of the most important players on the 49ers. Or if you talk to DJ Jones last season, most important player on the 49ers. And Arik Armstead currently isn't available due to a foot and ankle issue. If you want to take a look at the piece, it is right here next to me, and the link is about to be in the chat section. It's already in the description for you. So go ahead and check it out. I just copied and pasted it so you can go ahead and take a look. Headline is self-explanatory. 49ers are struggling without Arik Armstead's massive impact on run defense. And Arik Armstead's return timetable is currently unclear. He's got plantar fasciitis in his foot, and he also has a related ankle issue. This started cropping up early in the season. Armstead missed week 3. Then Armstead returned for week 4 against the Rams, but he exited that game early, and we have not seen Armstead on the field since. We have also not seen him on the practice field since. So Kyle Shanahan on Monday said that he hopes that Arik Armstead will be able to play this Sunday against the Rams, but he didn't seem particularly hopeful about that. Armstead missed practice on Wednesday. I'll be back out on the practice field in a couple hours here on Thursday. I doubt that we'll see Armstead at that practice. And to me, it seems that the earliest possible return, if you're speaking from a logical perspective, would be after the bye week against the Chargers on grass for the 49ers. But the issue is that Shanahan has acknowledged that this is a lingering issue. If you study plantar fasciitis, which is a foot condition, it's rather mysterious and is known to be a lingering issue. And this is probably something that the 49ers are going to have to deal with at least for the rest of this season. And that is not good news because of how important Arik Armstead has been to this football team. Take a look at this. This right here, it's in the article. And this really, I think, illustrates what the 49ers are dealing with. Top half of this chart, so above the horizontal line there in the middle, are 2021 splits from last season. Bottom half of this chart are 2022 splits from this season. Let's first focus on the top half because we are now entering the week in which Arik Armstead moved full-time to defensive tackle last year. Rewind to 2021. You will remember that the 49ers had Javon Kinlaw in and out of the lineup, and they were struggling as a result with run defense, especially up the middle. Now, the 49ers play a specific brand of defense in the wide nine, where they put a ton of responsibility on every single defensive lineman. They have to have Ferraris up front. It doesn't work if you just have replacement players up front. You lose a lot of defensive efficiency here because you're trying to buy the edge rushers like Nick Bosa and like D Ford before, right? You're trying now it's Sansa Mebucom, but you wanted to buy those premium edge rushers in the gold rush as much room as possible to roar around the edge on the outside. So you stretch out the alignment. They call it the wide nine. Because of that, the defensive linemen, it's like an accordion that's stretched. They're all further apart. So the guys in the middle, the two defensive tackles in this 4-3 wide nine, have a whole lot more responsibility on their plate than a bunched up defensive line. So the defensive tackles have to be long, they have to be athletic, they have to be truly plus players to make the system work. Now, if they're not plus players, then you're going to see it through run defense because teams are going to gash that wider alignment right up the middle with some of these runs. And lo and behold, last year, weeks 1 to 7, when Arik Armstead was playing more defensive end than defensive tackle, the 49ers ranked number 14 in the league in run defense EPA per play. You can see that right here. And as a result, because their run defense wasn't as good, they didn't earn as many pass rushing opportunities. They averaged only 2.2 sacks per game. Well, with Kinlaw in and out of the lineup, the 49ers made a big change this week of last year. They moved Arik Armstead to defensive tackle full-time. And look at the improvement. From weeks 8 to the NFC Championship game, the 49ers ranked number 1 in run defense EPA per play in the entire NFL. And it's no coincidence that their sack rate skyrocketed. It went from 2.2 per game to 3.4 per game. So even though Armstead himself wasn't generating his 2019 sack level, his presence was allowing the 49ers to generate more than 1 sack extra per game, 1.2 to be exact, from 2.2 to 3.4. So for those people who don't understand that it's not all about sack count, a lot of people are like, oh, well, DeForest Buckner has more sacks than Arik Armstead. This was a bad move from the 49ers. No, this is about cumulative impact. It's a team effort along the line of scrimmage. all of these men are working toward the goal of accumulating as many sacks and pressures as possible. And Arik Armstead has a very definite role, especially when the 49ers move him inside to defensive tackle, and that is to stop the run so that the 49ers can unleash the pass rush. So based on a metric like this, Arik Armstead is worth about 15 sacks per year. I mean, if you just want to do the strict math, 1.2 per game, that's even more than 15 per year. But we're not going to give Arik Armstead one-to-one credit just to be conservative here. He's worth a lot of sacks per year, though, when he's healthy and he's playing at defensive tackle, because the 49ers moved from the number 14 to the number 1 run defense in the NFL. And DJ Jones himself last year said on Arik Armstead, this is after the Cowboys playoff win, he's the most important piece on this team. DJ Jones literally said Arik Armstead is the most important piece on this team. And you could see what Arik Armstead's presence did for the 49ers last season. Their defensive turnaround, the biggest move that was part of that was Arik Armstead moving inside. I mean, he's a freak of nature in there. He's 6'7". He's got power, and Nick Bosa, I asked him about it yesterday. He said that he could see what's coming before it actually comes because he watches so much game tape. All right, let's fast forward to this season. 2022, Armstead has been in and out of the lineup, mainly out of the lineup, though. When Armstead has been in there, the 49ers run defense ranks top 10, number 8 in the league. When he hasn't been in there, they've ranked number 24. That is a massive drop-off. So you're seeing the same kind of pattern, though, as last year, right? Without Armstead at defensive tackle, the 49ers really struggle at run defense. With Armstead at defensive tackle, they're a lot better. Sacks per game for the 49ers, when they've been operating with Arik Armstead, 4 sacks per game. Without him, only 2.7 sacks per game. Same kind of difference as last year, right? 1.3 versus 1.2. So the sack production goes way down without Arik Armstead, even if he isn't the guy delivering the sacks, because he is stopping the run and he's clearing a lot of way. Now, this is a little bit of a double whammy, right, this year, because the 49ers, I talk about DJ Jones. He's down on the screen there with a quote about Arik Armstead. DJ's no longer a 49er. He left to Denver in free agency, $10 million per year. So the 49ers no longer have the number 1 run-stopping defensive tackle in football in DJ Jones, and the number 3 guy, Arik Armstead. That's by ESPN's run stop win rate, or run stop rate, whatever you want to call it. But they measure that at ESPN. How often do these guys beat blocks, get run stops? DJ Jones was number 1 last year. Arik Armstead was number 3. The 49ers have neither of these two guys. Last year, the combination of DJ Jones and Arik Armstead, those were 2 Ferraris in the wide 9 playing defensive tackle that allowed the 49ers to overcome the loss of Javon Kinlaw, who also exited around this time of last season. Well, Kinlaw right now is on IR, at least 2 more games there for him. We're not really sure of his status. It's fluid buildup in his knee, so we have to wait and see when Kinlaw is going to be available. But now the 49ers don't have Kinlaw again. They don't have DJ Jones because he left in free agency. And Arik Armstead's return timetable remains unclear. Kyle Shanahan says that the foot and the ankle issues are connected. We know that plantar fasciitis is mysterious. This week seems like a remote possibility, but remote is the word that I emphasize there. Probably won't be back until after the bye week, but we're not even sure about that because of the situation that is so fluid with his foot and his ankle. So this is a problem for the 49ers. These splits right here, this is a problem for the 49ers. If you want to explain some of their defensive inefficiency over the past 2 weeks against the Atlanta Falcons and the Kansas City Chiefs, who rushed for 260 yards combined on 4.6 per carry against the 49ers, it starts here. Arik Armstead, as DJ Jones said, might be one of the most important pieces on this team, and is currently unavailable. So, is there any good news? Is there something, that the 49ers can hang their hat on, especially considering the fact that Arik Armstead likely won't play this weekend? Well, there is one cause for optimism, and Daniel Brunskill, of all people, pointed this out to me yesterday. He pointed out that Kevin Givens has had some of his best games against the Rams. And I remember he had a good game against them in week 4, but then I went back and looked. Over his last 16 games, so about a full season's worth of games, Givens' 2 highest PFF grades have come at defensive tackle, including week 4 against the Rams, where he had that really nice swim move to get into the backfield, a couple run stops, and the tackle for loss, and a couple pressures as well in that game. However, that one swim move came against Jeremiah Colon, who was the Rams' 3rd-string center. The 49ers racked up 35 pressures and 7 sacks against Matthew Stafford, but this was a troublesome game for the Rams up front because they were on their third string center. So this game is not going to be as easy for the 49ers. Brian Allen, the Rams' first string center, is slated to return. Kevin Givens and company, that's Kevin Givens, Hassan Ridgeway, Akeem Spence, Kerry Hyder Jr., maybe even some T.Y. McGill if the 49ers need a little bit more juice at that defensive tackle position with all these frontliners out. These guys are going to have to work against interior defensive linemen of the interior offensive linemen of the Rams who are better than the interior offensive linemen, especially at center with Brian Allen, than played against the 49ers in week 4. The week 4 game was determined by the 49ers dominating the line of scrimmage against that Rams offense, right? Can they do the same again? Well, Armstead played in that game, and the Rams are on their third string center. So really the advantage might have been tipped into LA's favor here along the interior line, and that's a big deal to me. That's why the 49ers aren't going to, I think, cakewalk in this game. I think this is going to be a tough one for the 49ers. It's going to be a dogfight, but they really need Givens and company to scrap inside, especially if Armstead can't go, because of how important that you see Armstead is to this football team. So anyway, check it out. Arik Armstead, 49ers run defense is struggling without him. Copying and pasting it one more time into that chat section. Everybody have a good Thursday. I'm going to be down at the practice facility with some huge updates for you a little bit later today. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be on with a Deebo Samuel update. We're going to watch to see if he's at practice for the 49ers. Jawan Jennings, obviously. Dre Greenlaw, who had 15 tackles against the Rams in week 4. Hey, 49ers are beleaguered right now. Their egos hurt after that loss to the Chiefs, and they still have some injury issues that they need to take care of heading down to SoFi. It's not a must-win game, but it's a really important NFC West divisional matchup for the 49ers. So cause for optimism is that Kevin Givens, he's played some good football against the Rams. The 49ers need that dose of optimism right now, though, because missing Arik Armstead is not an easy deal. All right, everybody take care. Check out the article. And of course, as always, subscribe to The Athletic. I think you get that for under $1 a month right now, maybe 99 cents a month. And it goes in depth into this Arik Armstead situation, which not enough people are talking about. But, I mean, if you want to talk about 49ers defensive struggles, this might be the primary reason behind it. He's definitely extremely important to the defense, to the point where, you know, choosing him over DeForest Buckner was the correct move for the 49ers. Now, downstream, they obviously don't know about that pick about Javon Kinlaw being hurt right now. But when you look at the impact that Arik Armstead has had on this defense, being a better run defender than Buckner, setting up so many sacks, being cheaper than Buckner back in 2020 when they made the move, obviously a few million cheaper, but they also got that first-round pick. The process was totally fine. It is what the 49ers have gotten with the resulting first-round pick, which has been a lot of injuries for Javon Kinlaw. That's been the problem for the 49ers moving forward. But the Arik Armstead slander has got to stop, because as you can see right now, the 49ers really miss him. All right, everybody take care. Thanks for joining. We'll talk to you in a bit.